I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think.
Welcome to Oliver's Legacy Podcast, a podcast about male bereavement and mental health following the loss of a child. We'll also be discussing hobbies and interests, not limited to but including gaming, TV and film. Join me, Warren Morris and Neil Larson as we take you on a journey of what challenges we face in our daily lives. Hello and welcome to the first instalment of Oliver's Legacy Podcast. My name is Warren Morris and I'm Oliver's dad, and joining me as co-host is Neil Larson, dad to Lexi. For those who haven't seen the separate podcast about Oliver's story, I'll give a quick backstory to what happened. Oliver's pregnancy was a difficult one, with his mum getting a medical condition called preeclampsia. This resulted in him being born at about 27 weeks. He was born on the 14th of June and sadly died following complications 19 hours later on the 15th of June. So basically, Neil hasn't done any podcasts on his story yet, so welcome, Neil.
Thanks, Warren.
It's good to have your co-host in this one, mate.
Good to be here with you, man.
Yeah. So basically, man, just if you want to tell us about your story and Lexi.
Yeah, I mean, everything with Lexi was going quite swimmingly up until about 20 weeks. Once I got to the 20-week mark, I noticed a bit of an anomaly on Lexi's cord. A few scans here and there later, I told you, don't worry, everything will be fine. It was seen as it's a rare condition, but the success rate and mortality rate's 100%. Like, you're going to live, you're going to be fine. Yeah, all right, no problem. I got to 28 weeks. My wife at the time, she went for a typical midwife scan, and they couldn't find a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So we went down, picked her up to the hospital just there, where they confirmed that she had passed away. It's 28 weeks. Turns out to be down to the anomaly that they found, that was part of it, I believe, along with a Wharton's jelly deficiency. That's what the post-mortem discovered. So
Yeah.
she was born. She was born arse first. So I always like to say arse first. On December 20th, 2016. Very early in the morning. We all say this. You'll say this yourself, Warren. She was stunningly beautiful. She was perfect in every single way. Oliver would have been the same.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've seen pictures of Oliver, and he was a stunning little man. I don't know where he looks from. Definitely wasn't his dad.
I'm not even going to comment on that, mate.
Yeah, I mean that's Lexi's story in a nutshell, man.
Yeah, it's crappy, isn't it? But it's how we met each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was a funny one to find out. We obviously met through a charity online, and we kind of hit it off straight away. We decided to have a bit of meet up, and we got on really well. It was just natural, like I'd known you all my life.
Yeah.
And I think it was about a year after our first meeting, I discovered that another charity in the Northeast who do memory boxes for like bereaved children, like we got one, you got one for Oliver. They put a post on with Lexi's name on, another angel born sleeping, etc. And there, one of the first comments was a Mr. Warren Allen Morris. They're just like, dude,
Yeah, it was one of them things, mate. I actively spent my time, as grim as it sounds, looking online for announcements like that and leaving people, little messages and little things like that. They might not appear to be much, but just to have somebody else, mentioning something or saying something, sometimes it can make all the difference.
It does. And I think to anybody who hasn't been through this before, that does sound incredibly grim, and it sounds weird. It's, what are you doing that for? Why? But you're right. Once you've been through it, those little things. We during the time in the hospital, we spent a lot of time on Facebook because you just needed to kill your brain cells. Let's be fair for a bit. And
Yeah.
the amount of, we looked through every message that we got, and every little message meant the world, and especially from strangers. That
Yeah.
was the one, like people like yourself, like it just meant so much, and it was so weird, man. And, God, I mean, I can say this as well. I hope you don't mind, but I mean, since I've got to know you, you have been quite a big advocate in the Northeast. I mean, how many radio interviews have you done now? It's been a good couple.
Yeah, I've done 2 on BBC Newcastle.
Yeah. So it's like talking to a mini celebrity.
Shut up, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy because like it's not unique either because like
Hmm.
obviously I've got other like angel dads and that friends and
Yeah.
the experience is similar. You hit it off straight away. It's like
Yeah,
you share something so grim,
Yeah.
and something that is completely not natural in life at all because no parent should ever bury the child.
No, never know.
But out of that just comes the most honest friendships.
Yeah, because let's be fair, we don't hold back on anything.
No, we don't.
There's people that's been doing. You can say anything, especially I think with angel dads as well. It's lads and lasses deal with things differently, and
Yeah.
they always have to. I think you need the like other angel dads around you. It's just you know what they're going through. They know what you're going through.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine saying to your mates, just in general, who haven't been through this, right? My heart right now is breaking. They're going to rip you, man. Let's be fair. That's what they'll do.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand it. They're like, well, just get over it.
See,
It's a
I
death.
mean, I was quite fortunate with my group of friends because I'm quite selective with friends
Yeah.
for a really good reason. It's because I've got like trust issues with people because people let you down. So thankfully, during all this, I don't think any because I had my best friend and his wife actually turn up at the hospital to hold Oliver.
Wow.
One of Oliver's mum's friends turned up to do the same.
Yeah.
It's like you never forget people like that.
No, you're right. You don't. I mean, when Lexi was born, it was just me, my wife, and close family, like parents, etc. But one thing I always remember was the day we found out she died was 7 days prior. Sorry, might have been so many days prior. I cannot also remember. But my sister was there. It would be half sister.
Yeah.
And we aren't incredibly close. We're a bit closer now, but it's not your standard brother sister relationship. It's my half sister. We chat, we see each other, we do, etc. But she was there with her son-in-law. They were getting a scan.
Yeah.
And she found out Lexi died before I did. She was in the room. I was part of the car and having a cigarette. And she found out before I did, and she was amazing, man. Like, she ran in, like, every 10 minutes coming in to check on us, making sure we were okay, like, anything she could do for us. And there's like little things like that you do not forget.
No,
Especially, as you said, with Oliver, there's those little things, like, you don't forget them.
No, you don't. But yeah.
I mean, like, do you ever get like anybody telling you like get over it or anything like that?
Some of the stuff that I have read online that people have said to them. I think I read something the other day. Somebody had actually been told their daughter would be disappointed in the way that they were grieving.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw the same page you did. That was horrible.
It was just I couldn't.
There's no words.
I can't get my head around it. Like some of the stuff people have said to other people who've lost children it's nothing short of outright cruelness
and just ultimate stupidity, mate. That's all you can put it down to.
Ignorance,
total.
Ignorance and stupidity. Because some of the stuff there's just absolutely no excuse for.
Totally agree.
Right, so we're going to move on to the next section now, which we're going to talk about mental health following the loss of a child, which is, it's a fully loaded subject. Actually, I think we could talk about this for hours.
Easily.
So now that the introductions are out of the way, as I've said, there's one topic really close to my heart that I want to discuss, and that is the absolute mess your mental health is left in after you've lost a child.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, even if you get the right support, I don't think there's any support on this world that will get rid of that mental scarring that's left over.
Totally agree.
I think the one thing that really opened my eyes was a few years ago, Paul, the former director at Daddies with Angels, he'd conducted a survey out of like 303 of the members. And I think the figures were around 80% had said that their mental health was fine before. And roughly the same, like afterwards, said it had just absolutely spiraled out of control.
I think that's it. It's something like this. It's bound to. You know, there's nothing.
I mean, I've wrote blogs, like I say blogs, I think 3 or 4 on like the effects of the mental health afterwards. And I think out of all of them, my favourite one that I wrote was the Big Boys Don't Cry one, because it is one thing that resonates, is that you are always told as a boy, big boys don't cry.
Big boys do cry, dude. Big boys do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's stuff like that sort of ruins your ability to be able to grieve properly and open up when you do get older.
It's true. I mean, the men are always kind of meant to be there to support the partner around it. That's the perceived role. You know, it's like, even in this, I don't know if you found this, but everybody always asked how my wife was doing at the time.
Yeah.
Did I ask how you were? How's, well, she's struggling, but so am I.
Yeah, it's crazy. Without going off on a tangent, it is literally, child loss is more of a female world.
Yeah,
in terms
really is.
of, I mean, things are getting better, things are improving for like male support.
Definitely, yeah.
But like, there's me, yourself. I know Dan Hill. Some bigger organisations turned us away, and then I gave up for a year after that, and then one day stumbled upon Daddies with Angels.
Yeah. I think, we know about, I think I don't know if you got the same as I did. On the day, I guess, Lexi was born, or I think maybe even before, when we're just sitting in the hospital waiting, it was, here's some books.
Yeah.
And it was all, well, there was nothing for a dad to read. It's like, well, okay.
No.
But it's in every respect.
I mean, touching up on something you said earlier, is the one thing that I do remember, and I didn't remember at the time, it wasn't until like a year or two later, is that memory box that we got in the hospital.
Yeah.
For Louis. You know, it was like something so simple. And I don't really want to call them simple, because them memory boxes are outright amazing.
Oh, totally.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's such a small thing to be given. But
yeah,
it resonates, and it is just metaphorically the biggest thing that you get given, like, you know, right after your loss. And it was like, that stuck with me. And then it went to like a year or two later, that I'd like seen for Louis online, and I'd seen the memory box, and I'm like, I'm sure we've got one of them. And I'd looked like where we'd put all of the stuff away, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, the things that get in there, they are small things, let's be fair, but the meaning behind everything in that box.
Yeah, everything's got a meaning in it.
It's just, it's like a little hug. It's like, somebody's there, somebody's thinking of you, and somebody else has been doing it. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Use this.
But yeah, so I mean, like, what's your like mental health sort of journey been since you lost Lexi?
Yeah, I mean, I think like yourself, you know yourself when I say this. You have good days, you have really bad days, and there's no time frame on that. When it first happened, you just you don't know what to do. Your whole your whole head just goes into a complete shutdown as to anything. You are depressed. You're lost. You don't know. You don't know what anything is anymore. I think one of the best phrases I heard to describe it was when somebody walked out of the hospital, there was no colour left in the world. All the
Yeah,
sounds, everything had changed. Everything was different. And that's kind of best to describe it. Your brain just shuts everything down. It doesn't know how to cope with that. And I think I was quite fortunate. I found Daddies and Angels quite quickly. I think by April, I think I was a member. And I was chatting to yourself, and I was chatting to other Angel dads. And I kind of had that bit to help.
yeah,
So it could have been a lot. It could have been a lot worse. Because like I say, when you leave that hospital, you have absolutely nothing as a bloke.
yeah.
Though I,
It's crazy, is it? It's like looking back since Oliver died versus what I was like before. I don't even recognize myself.
no, definitely not. Uh, you do become a new person.
You
You've
can
got
literally
so
have.
much.
It's crazy. Like you literally have multiple weeks where and it sounds grim, but like your personal hygiene's levels just slip because you just can't be asked.
Yeah, totally agree with you, man.
You know,
Just I just sit there. You just want to get off the couch. You want to sit back and do.
yeah.
No, just
Even the most like simple task, and then obviously you tie all this in. Like obviously, from my perspective, I've got obviously we were fortunate enough to have Evelyn, Oliver's sister, after but you throw in child loss and then a rainbow, and the concept of rainbows is a lot of people think having another child replaces your loss and makes things easier, and the other thing it does is distract you.
And if anything, I think to make anniversaries harder as well. Because if you think,
Every milestone, every
yeah,
milestone that Evelyn hits, it's like what if?
yeah, exactly. Like,
Um,
what would Oliver be doing now? What
yeah,
would
exactly. It's so when people say because we'll go back to like people saying stuff to like angel parents, when are you going to try again? And it's
at least
like,
you know you can get pregnant.
yeah, and it's like doing that. It's not like you switch a magic switch and a new child comes along.
Yeah,
You get distracted. You don't forget about them. You get distracted because you've got a newborn,
yeah, definitely.
and then you've got a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old. Evelyn's currently 5, and autistic. So you've got all that to throw into the mix, and it's like, how could any of that improve anything?
Exactly.
It compounds all the grief and makes it 10 times worse, in my opinion.
I totally agree. The thing is, no matter what happens from that day that you walk out of the hospital, you are a new person.
Yeah,
There's no going back to the original you. They are as dead as well. They are gone. They will never come back. And all that happens is, yeah, okay, you have a rainbow, but it's still a rainbow, not to who you were. It's somebody who you are now.
yeah.
It doesn't
I mean,
change.
it affected my ability to be able to sort of bond with my daughter.
Yeah, I can
I
imagine.
think it took me.
Absolutely.
It took me. I mean, we've talked about this at great length. It took me at least a year. I'm not even ashamed to admit it.
No, doesn't be ashamed of. But that it's understandable.
It took me a year to sort of bond with her because I was petrified something bad was going to happen.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's crazy
that's
because I
that's
remember like every single second of Evelyn's pregnancy as well.
oh, yeah.
It was traumatizing actually.
I can only imagine, especially when you got up to that 27 weeks mark, what that must have been like, man. Jesus.
Yeah, and that destroyed me, mate. I'm not gonna lie, that ruined me.
No, I mean, it's just. I mean, how you didn't just tell it, I was like, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out now. Just
Well, that's
I'll beat her out.
she was born a few weeks earlier than she should have been, but that's
Yeah.
basically how she was born because Evelyn's mum started, seeing the signs of the preeclampsia coming back.
Yeah.
Told the doctors that she wanted to have her delivered, and the doctors basically turned around and said, "Well, she'll be in intensive care if you do." Well,
Right.
there couldn't have been any more wrong if they tried, mate, because she was born and came straight out of the ward, and we were home 2 days later.
Yeah, that's Evelyn Fire though.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely, mate. But it's just it just
I think
leaves
that's
you, just leaves you a former shell, doesn't it, of who you used to be?
yeah, that's it. See, there's you things you used to find joy in, don't find joy in that anymore.
Nah.
So it's. I remember for the rest of the time I was with my wife after the loss, we couldn't go to certain restaurants anymore. We couldn't go to certain places anymore, just because she couldn't cope with it. And obviously, don't get me wrong, I supported that. God, it was fine.
Yeah.
But just so many different things. It's like you just can't physically do it.
Yeah.
You're just not mentally strong enough to do it.
See, the one trigger that always set me off, and there weren't that many actually. I was quite like all right with that. Is when Evelyn started nursery, there was a little boy in her class called Oliver, and like you'd hear the parent shouting his name and that, and it absolutely broke me every single time for at least a year.
It's understandable that.
Yeah, I could never get used to it, mate. For over a year, I still weren't used to it. My heart sank every time I heard it.
Even now, if I hear the name Lexi, your heart just sinks, especially if it's like somebody quite young. You're like,
yeah,
what if she should be here now?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Way of life.
Now, for our next segment, we're going to discuss the various platforms out there that we found support from following the loss of our children. So, I think the biggest one for me to talk about, obviously, is going to be Daddies with Angels.
Yeah.
Back then, I stumbled across them by accident. I mean, there's a lot more stuff around now pointing people to them. A lot more can be found out about Daddies with Angels from. There's going to be another podcast going out alongside this, where I did an interview with one of the directors from there. So it was an interesting conversation. I've known Dan for a few years, but he took over when Paul sadly died the other year.
He's a good guy, Paul, and the dad's lovely as well. Lovely bloke.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the way Daddies with Angels works and has always worked is it's there's Facebook groups. There's a families group which is mixed, and then there's a dads group which is, I mean, we've got dads, granddads in there, uncles. It's just men only. When Daddies with Angels first started out, though, it was the families group. It was a fully mixed group, and then as more men joined, obviously Paul decided, rightfully so, to give them their own separate space. Because
I think it's needed. Let's be fair, isn't it?
Men can talk to other men about child loss. The struggle to talk to their own partners about it, though.
Yeah, that's the problem, I think.
Yeah, but they've won several awards. It's not about the awards; it never has been, but the recognition of everybody's hard work, because it is staffed fully by volunteers, no wages, nothing. Any money has always gone through, postage and printing costs and stuff that you'd expect as well. Absolutely fantastic organisation. And I mean, I couldn't it's like, you think back to the people that have supported you. And it's like, you try and make a list, but then you wonder if you've missed anybody out. It's crazy, but I had help from so many people through Daddies with Angels, like people that were affiliated with it. Luann Rimmer, who ran Angel Parents UK and currently runs Handmade with Love for Angels Babies, which is the knitting stuff that they send and supply to hospitals. Was Kerry Ann, Kiara Curran, David Monteith, all the lads at Daddy's with Angels as well. There's just some really, really, really decent people out there as well. And I've probably missed one or two people, but it's like it's so hard to remember everybody.
I think that's it. And Daddies with Angels, it is a huge group now. It is quite large in
Yeah,
comparison to the people that do help. They're always there, and
it's crazy though, because like one person besides yourself that I'd class as a really close friend is Jamie. And
yeah,
I met him through Daddy's with Angels, and we hit it off as friends because both our angels were called Oliver.
yeah, and it's those small things, though, isn't it?
You know what a strange thing to connect over though.
And Jamie's a lovely guy. I've spoken to Jamie a couple of times on messages and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think Jamie's on about wanting to come on and do tell his Oliver story at some point as well, which will be great.
Oh God, that'll be a long one.
Aye, it can. It's a bit like Dan, can talk for England.
Yeah, but no, I mean the thing is, you meet some great people through Daddies with Angels. So like I say, I found you guys and a few months after Lexi, and see that's how we hit it off. We become friends through that. And speaking to Paul, and I know you got to meet him, and I never got to meet the man, but was always planned to. Through message, I would always have a bit of a chat, bit of banter.
Yeah.
It was a great organisation. I mean, I did leave for a while, and I think a lot of people kind of left the same time as me because Paul meant so much to everybody there.
Yeah,
you may not meet the guy, you never met him, but you knew him. He had
it was
such
nuts.
presence.
I volunteered for Daddies with Angels, as like the main graphics designer and some other stuff on the side. And I only ever actually met Paul in person once. But when he turned up at my house, it was like, it was like speaking to an old friend.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
and
he was that kind of guy.
The sad reality is, like, before he found out he was sick, I was already planning on like stepping down for a while because I had a lot going on in my personal life and everything was getting on top of me. Then obviously he got really, really ill, and I kind of had to put that on hold. And then, sadly after he died and that, I kind of just hit the deck, and I was like, I've got to step away from stuff. And I think I stepped away properly from child loss stuff for about a year.
Yeah, I think you need to have a bit of a break, don't it? Weirdly, it consumes your life, and it does consume your life.
So some people choose not to have a break and that when they really should. But I couldn't function anymore if I didn't.
Well, that's it. I mean, from knowing you, the amount of work you were doing, it wasn't like, oh, I'll just do a little bit here and there to help out. Like, I helped out with graphics every once in a while.
Yeah.
You lived, breathed DWA, and anything you could do, it was always, I can do this for DWA, I can do this for DWA. And I think, and you did take a lot on. I think you desperately needed that break.
Yeah, I kind of just threw it's like some people throw themselves into the work. I threw myself into that because it was easier than facing reality sometimes if I kept my mind busy.
It's that distraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's how we're supposed to try to deal with things. It's like, if we can focus on something else, push what's affecting us to the back of our minds, then if we can get through this, we can do it.
I mean, the current team he's got at DWA though, absolutely outstanding. After speaking to Dan the other day for his interview.
Yeah, I had to listen to that earlier on, and it sounds like they're doing brilliantly over there now.
But who kind of supported you in the early days then?
So again, I think the first lot that helped me, and obviously I think with yourself as well, but forgetting about it was for Lewis.
Yeah.
For us, they were brilliant. We, we got that memory box, which kind of comes with a bunch of little things. You get a couple of little teddy bears, one for you, one for your child. We light a candle, get options to make clay prints, stuff like that. And that memory box meant a lot. I mean, we did quite a bit of fundraising for Lewis when we could, and we had I think we had a collection box for the Matt Lexi's funeral.
Yeah.
Just to kind of buy some memory boxes in her name, the Fort Lewis do have a yearly charity ball gala. And I've been to when the first one after Lexi died, we got an invite to that, just because of how much we did help fundraise. And we went the one a year later as well. I think you came with us to that one as well, Warren.
Yeah, me and Oliver's mum came, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a great night. It's got lots of auctions on, good bit of scran. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's you're surrounded by people who understand what you're going through.
They know how to throw a really good boulder for Louis.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, I might have to go to the next one, depending on if it goes ahead with this little virus going around. Let's just see if it does.
Yeah.
Speaking of fundraising, I think a lot of us, I think me and you both did a bit of fundraising in the past, haven't we, Mr. Morris? Yes.
Yeah, let's.
The virus just popped ahead.
Yeah, let's. That Boxing Day fundraising was interesting, mate. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me several years ago I'd have been crawling into the ocean on Boxing Day, I'd have laughed at you.
Yeah. Because, to be fair, Warren, as I said, Warren threw himself into DWA quite a bit, especially with fundraising. And one day he comes up and he says, Neil, great idea for you. What are you doing on Boxing Day? Well, Warren, not much, to be honest with you. We normally spend it at the in-laws. Well, I've signed us up to do the Boxing Day dip in Tynemouth. When they come and collect us, we'll go down, we'll do it together. Well, they really signed me up. It's like, well, yeah, we'll both do it. Just put it in the ocean. It's only going to be freezing cold. You'll be fine. I was off for a week after that one, Warren. But the thing is, that was a big bonding experience. It's a good laugh. I really enjoyed it.
There's actually video evidence and photographic evidence out there as well of it.
Yeah, well, might put that in the description. We'll see what happens.
Coming from somebody who suffers with Raynaud's, who really has bad blood circulation, and I get numb fast. It took me all day to reheat back up, mate.
Yeah, man. Do you know somebody actually took seriously ill that year?
Yeah.
With pneumonia. It's yeah.
I'm not surprised. I am genuinely amazed I'm still alive, if I'm honest with you, because I thought that was me done that day.
Yeah, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was a good laugh. It's one of those things. I think that's what fundraising gets. You're doing something a bit painful, I guess, in this way. With this, we are.
See,
it's a bit embarrassing.
That day, the moment I realised I'd absolutely screwed up was when the water got to my knees and I couldn't feel my feet anymore.
Yeah, I noticed a bit before that when we were running around in the circle pretending to be reindeer. I think that's what I noticed.
I forgot about that bit.
So hang on, something's not right. Yeah, it's a bit cold. Maybe shorts. My t-shirt. Actually, I've still got the t-shirt.
I remember you went hardcore. You went hardcore, mate, because I turned up in a pair of scuba trunks, didn't I?
Yeah, you turned scuba trunks. I just ended up in
to try insulate myself a little bit.
You want to do it properly.
Yeah.
You see somebody there, some people there just wearing Speedos. You're like, hang on a sec.
Yeah, like the fancy dress, the Speedos and everything else. But
yeah.
No, it's something I'll look back on and remember, though, because it was actually really fun.
Oh, it was really fun. It's something I'll definitely never forget. I can't tell you that. It was, yeah. And it was worth it.
Yeah, we can always do it again this year.
I might be busy, man. I've got a feeling there.
Me too, maybe.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I might be elsewhere. Although I have got one closer to home now. Now where I live, there's one a bit closer here. It's like a mile down the road is the nearest one now.
I just turn up at your house with a hose pipe, mate, and just like hose you down.
That would be better. That would have been so much better.
Yeah. So is the you've mentioned obviously for Louis and that was there any other groups or people out there that helped you?
I'll be more honest. It's a more recent one than one in the past. Was Teardrop.
Yeah.
Now they are a Sounds affiliated group, I believe, but they are just the volunteers. They are fantastic at what they
Yeah.
do. Based solely in the northeast, but they have 2 monthly groups, one in Ashington and one in North Shields. And it was when, I'll be honest, it was around the time when my wife left. It kind of go a bit back to mental health here a bit as well. Like that brought everything flooding back.
Yeah.
It's like it made it more fresh again, and I needed that support. And I don't like it's one of those ones I think I needed more person-to-person support. I know like you had a lot going on at that time, so I didn't want to bother you. I thought the last thing I want to do is bother Warren, so I thought, right, what can I do? And I see this was open, so I went there, and I mean the team there are brilliant. They are really good. I kind of fault them for what they do. They do the walk of light, which I think we'll have to get you to next year, Warren. I think you'd love it. It's at it's a place in Cramlington, the hills. I can't remember the name of it. Northumberlandia. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And you basically walk up to the room area of Northumberlandia with candles and stuff like that. They'll read out the name of your angel and stuff like that. It's like a little group thing. You have a few cuppas as well, and I was fortunate enough this year to help them set up and kind of give them a hand.
Yeah.
Stuff that goes behind it. They kind of care so much. It's like one light was out of place and they weren't happy. I was like, none of this has to be redone. We need to make sure it was perfect. And I always highly recommend that walk of light for next year, dude. You would love it.
Yeah, it's something I know you've mentioned to me before personally, but yeah, I'll consider it. Right, so for our last and final section, it's a bit of a switch up. We're gonna discuss our favorite TV shows, movies, and video games.
Yeah,
this could be something where we're both quite passionate about it.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky as well. We have played some of our tastes. I think mine might be a bit more bizarre than yours. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not even going to go into that. You are a very bizarre person.
You're a very strange little boy.
Yeah. So have you watched any good films or TV shows recently then? Well,
movie-wise, I'm going to go for the classic, yeah. I was browsing through Amazon Prime the other day.
You see, sorry to interrupt you, man. But
no, go for it, man.
Amazon Prime, I got Amazon Prime a while ago. And it's such a con.
Dude, totally agree.
You pay us. I mean, I know technically you're paying for Prime delivery.
Yeah.
Right. But like most of the decent stuff on there, you've got to rent.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you massively. It's kind of like a perk of Prime, like Prime delivery. I think what kind of got me, they used to be Love Phone, I believe. That's who took up Amazon Prime.
Really?
Amazon Prime took up, I think it was Love Phone. When you used to get DVD sent out to you back in the day. I mean, I might be wrong, it might be Netflix, I don't know, but I'm sure that was its own thing. But yeah, I was flicking through Prime. And I like it. I was fancying a bit of a comedy movie to cheer myself up. And a gem, and I mean gem of a movie popped up that I had not seen in a long time. Trey Parker and Matt Stone in Orgasmo. Now,
is this that link you sent me the other day?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very, very disturbing. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to go out and watch it.
You need to watch it. The premise of the movie is there's two Mormons going around and they're trying to preach, the Book of Mormon to get everybody trying to convert.
Yeah.
And like Mormons do, they get told to fuck off, basically, get the door slammed in the face at every place they go to.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, down the road, someone is shooting a porno.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're going along, they knock on this guy's door.
Oh, God.
He sends the security guard out. And he's like, hi, we'd like to share the Lord Jesus Christ with you. 2 moments. Boss, 2 guys from Jesus. He's like, cut off their balls. So the guy goes to the door, he's like, I'm going to cut your balls off now. You go, okay, sorry. And the next thing you know, this huge fight scene happens where Trey Parker, as a Mormon, kicks the living shit out of all these people. And basically, he then, the director watches, goes, yeah, he'd be perfect for Orgasmo. And
Oh, God.
he then becomes the superhero of this movie. And it's all about, he's got a wife and she wants to get married in the temple. And he's got to pay them just enough to cover that. And he's always going to come to try and keep it a secret. So he's doing this. But they're bringing a stud cock.
Oh,
On
God.
the actual penetration. And, I mean, they've seen the scenes from the other day. And it's so crazy. But it sounds dirtier than what it is. It's all about the actual build-up of Joe in the movie, this Mormon guy.
Yeah.
And you kind of become a superhero. And if anybody likes a bit of stupid comedy, if you're a fan of South Park, if you like Trey Parker, you like Matt Stone, and you want to see them in a real live-action movie, I'd highly recommend Orgasmo. It is a fantastic movie, solid 9 out of 10. It had me
God.
crying with laughter from the onset.
Brilliant. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go check that out.
One day you'll be.
I don't think I'll ever be that bored, mate, that I'll watch it.
I'll send you more clips. You will end up watching.
No, please don't.
Hey, baby.
No, I'll block you. I don't know how.
Until the next podcast.
Yeah, till like the day before the next podcast when I need you.
How about you, dude? What you been watching?
I've watched quite a few stuff recently, man. So I watched Divergent like last year.
All right, yeah.
And I rewatched that, and then somebody had informed me that there's 2 more. There's Insurgent, and then do you know something? That's really bad. That the last one slipped my mind. It begins with an A.
Assertion.
It's something like that, actually. It really is. But yeah, the kind of on the same sort of track as do you know, my mind's gone blank.
No.
I'm rubbish at this, aren't I?
Yeah, dude. This is your idea.
I know this is terrible. What's the this is no good.
IMDb. Let's just see what this Diversion's all about. So I've never seen Diversion. I've heard of it before.
Yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic sort of weird ass take on society where there's different factions, and each different faction has a particular place in the world.
Now I've searched for Diversion and I've got Diversity. I don't think it's
right. So, cause I'm Ace and I've just Google searched what I meant.
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's similar sort of premise, but not where they pit each other off against each other to kill one another.
Okay.
But it's a series and it's good. I quite enjoy it. What else have I been watching on films? I started trying to power my way through all the Star Wars movies.
Good. Also, the question: if you're going to go with Star Wars, I have to ask you the key question: which order did you watch them in? Did you start with 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, or did you start with episode 1 and get it out of the way first? Because let's be fair, what is the worst one?
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, yes, I sat through and watched one again. I got up to Revenge of the Sith. I now need to go watch. I believe it's Rogue One and then Solo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I need to watch the original 3.
Oh,
And
yeah, man.
I've only seen 1 out of the 3 new ones.
Right. Okay. I mean, I'll be honest. I've only seen 2.
So I need to see 2 of the newer ones, but I want to watch them in order.
No, okay. I mean, I think when it comes to Star Wars, don't get me wrong, fantastic movies, great storyline, apart from 1. But the original 3, you can't beat the original 3 when it
No,
comes to
you
Star
can't. You're right. Absolutely right, mate. The real question is Star Wars or Star Trek?
Ooh, right. Ooh. Old Star Wars, but new Star Trek.
Yeah, see,
That makes sense.
I absolutely love both. Like, I couldn't pick if I tried.
Yeah, they both got the merits. I mean,
but if
Star
basically,
Trek.
yeah. So I mean, like touching up on like TV shows I've watched. A few months back, I got finished with Star Trek Discovery season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I know there's a lot of I mean, the Star Trek fan base are so critical of everything. It is crazy.
I mean, there's no bigger use of the word nerd out there when it comes to Star Trek.
Honestly, Discovery, loved every second of it.
Right.
Season 3 is going to be coming out soon. Cannot wait for it. Not going to really try like spoil anything, but from season 2, there has become a spin-off, and there's going to be a new Enterprise show.
Okay.
With Captain Pike and Spock, both of who were in season 2 of Discovery.
Right, that's good for continuity.
Well, me and my friend who were watching it, we were like, this would be a really good spin-off. 3 months later, new Star Trek Enterprise spin-off coming, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, with Star Trek, for me, I'll be honest, I will hold my hands up and say I've never watched the TV series, whether it be Voyager, Enterprise, Trek, never watched it. But there was something about the movies. I don't know why. I watched the first one and I was blown away, man. They've done really well with that, and I think the cast was perfect.
I don't like the Star Trek films.
Even the new ones? I mean, I like the new ones.
The last new one, quite liked it. I've never been a big fan of the films, but like on the topic of Star Trek, have you seen Picard?
Yeah, actually, I do fancy seeing that, to be honest.
So I've watched all that, mate, and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Star Trek has one of those things. It's got such a huge fan base.
Yeah.
The need to make sure with things like Picard, and I think anything you do with Star Trek.
Yeah.
The director has.
Well, I mean, there's loads of stuff out there in the news, so it's not really spoilers, but like, there's a lot of like people spanning like the Star Trek universe who appear in it. I mean, Seven of Nine's in it.
Okay.
William Riker and Deanna Troi are in it.
I mean, I'll be honest, when it comes to Star Trek, the only person that really knows will be.
Right. So yeah, William Riker was Captain Picard's second in command on the Enterprise.
Ah, cool.
And he appears in it. Data appears in it.
Okay.
It's really, really, really well written and put together, and season 2 is going to be amazing.
Well, there we are.
And I know season 2 is going to have Whoopi Goldberg in it.
Yes.
Because Picard, well, do you know what? When your mind just empties, this is like really embarrassing.
On a daily basis, dude.
Yeah. But the guy who plays Picard, because I'm really bad at names. Like, how bad's this? This is embarrassing.
Sorry for you.
Well, it went on one of the talk shows Whoopi Goldberg works on and invited her to come back for season 2.
That'd be The View. Was that The View?
It might
they call it in America. It's like their version of Loose Women.
Yeah, I think it might be.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, I'll hold my hands up for this one. This is not so great for a blog to see, but how great is Whoopi Goldberg as an actress, man? She is fantastic. She's got it all. I mean, she's done some great movies back in the day. Sister Act, Jumpin' Jack Flash. You know, if you ever saw a movie with Whoopi Goldberg in it, you know it was going to be a hit. You know,
Yeah.
big fan of Whoopi. I talk about stuff from the 80s that came back. Star Trek. Have you watched Cobra Kai?
Do you know something? I think I got partway through season 2 of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding, mate. Absolutely, because you introduced me to that.
Oh man, I just
Season 1 was great, and season 2 was like, oh my god.
yeah, man. Season 3 is confirmed.
Yeah, but
Um,
for anybody listening who's not seen it, it is basically a TV version of Karate Kid, and it has the two main actors from Karate Kid.
Yeah,
in it.
Chris came back last season
Yeah, it's
as well.
it's a really, really, really great TV show, and honestly, anybody who gets a chance to watch it, put it on your list.
That's it. And it is apparently going to be getting picked up. So the reason season 3 should be out now. It normally came out around April 20th. I was reading up on this yesterday or the day before, and what it was saying is Netflix or I think it's another company are trying to pick it up.
Yeah,
More than
it's
likely,
on
it's going to
YouTube
go to
Premium,
Netflix.
isn't it?
Yeah, YouTube Premium, YouTube Red or something like that.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
RedTube, YouTube Red.
Yeah, it's part of YouTube Premium, though, isn't it? You get it
Yeah.
in with it, yeah.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so they're kind of moving over
Did
to a
you
bigger
just say
platform.
not RedTube?
Yeah,
Oh, mate, that's
Just making
terrible.
sure. You know, hey, just in case, you know, should there be some, you know, Rule 37? If it exists, it'll be on RedTube.
Yeah, fair point, like.
So no, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic TV show.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Netflix do pick it up because it deserves a platform like Netflix.
Yeah, like a more widespread platform that
Yeah.
everybody can basically get. I heard they're making season 1 on YouTube free, though.
Yeah, season 1's free now, I believe.
I thought I'd read somewhere that they're going to be doing the same with season 2.
They will do. Likelihood is they will do. You know, obviously,
What
they make
about
the money off
TV
it at the start.
shows? One that you really do need to make time to check out is Snowpiercer.
Okay.
So
What's that?
basically, there was it's derived from a French novel, and there was a movie about it in 2013, I think. But so basically, the story for it is the world is heating up, and a load of scientists try to cool it down. But what they do accidentally is freeze the planet.
Ooh, okay.
So
Winter is coming.
So basically, rather than it's like it's a bit of a modern day twist on the Ark. The build. So basically, they build this train that's 1,001 carriages long, and once it starts moving, it can't stop, and that's how it powers the whole train. Yeah. So it's a post-apocalyptic thing because all these rich people and second and third class have all bought tickets, but then a lot of the poorer people and the people who couldn't get on the train storm the train at the last minute, and they end up living in the back section, and it's basically called the tail. Because they get referred to as rats by like the first class, second class residents and that.
Yeah.
But the main character in it, basically gets taken out because there is a chance for them to progress into different classes.
Okay.
Like some of them will get taken up to be engineers and other stuff because obviously you know they need to keep the train running and everything else. And then the main guy in it basically gets taken up to solve a murder because he used to be a detective.
All right. Okay.
So,
I might have to give it a watch. Where can you find that?
Netflix.
Netflix. Snowpiercer.
So season 2 has already been confirmed. And they're doing it. They're only releasing every episode weekly, unfortunately. Episode 4, I think, or 5 this weekend.
Oh.
But honestly, there is not many TV shows like that that'll grip my attention. And
No, I
there's
totally get
so
you.
many little plot twists and turns, right? It is really, really good.
Right, yeah, I think I'll put that on my to watch list. It's well, if you have for you Marvel fans, I'm going to guess you've seen this one, Warren. TV series called The Boys
No,
that came out last year. Oh,
no, I've not actually seen that.
no, I thought that would be this will be right up your alley because I know you like if you like your kind of Marvel, DC, and that kind of stuff. Basically, it is about a group of superheroes.
All right, okay.
But let's be honest, whenever you see a superhero portrayed anywhere, there are always these larger than life, godlike characters.
Is it affiliated with like Marvel or DC or just completely independent?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure if it is affiliated with anybody. It is. I'm just doing a quick bit of research here. It doesn't look like it is. I think this is just its own
Sort of an
little thing.
a little
Like an
independent
indie
sort
one.
of superhero movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, I mean, the premise, if you look on Wikipedia, it's quite basic. It's an American superhero web television series based on. Oh, there you go. It's actually based on the comic book of the same name. Okay, which is there must be a comic book called The Boys by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. If you know the name. Basically, it's a group of superheroes who, let's be fair, are quite flawed. You kind of got this guy who's like the fastest guy in the world. And this is kind of the opening scene is, typical, this kid who's talking to his girlfriend, chatting on in his job, and he's basically about to propose to her. They go outside, he gets down on one knee, he's got a hold of her hands, and this fast guy's basically running.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see her, and he runs right through her. Now, this guy is lightning quick, and all you see left after the nice massive spray of red is this guy basically holding on to her hands, and there's nothing else there. So this guy takes revenge. He kind of wants to, get revenge against him, obviously, and it basically shows that superheroes themselves also have flaws. It's a really good series. It just kind of shows like how things build up, and I guess if there was kind of sort of like politics in being a superhero, how that could come to light.
Yeah.
It's well worth a watch. It is a web-based series. It is on Amazon Prime at the moment.
All right. Okay.
It has been renewed for season 2 as well. And yeah, it's again, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. It's a great movie, TV series even. It actually has Simon Pegg in it as well. For a little bit, again, he plays a great little character.
I absolutely love Simon Pegg. I could talk for hours about his films.
Couldn't we all? I think we'll definitely get a Pegg one of the next couple of podcasts.
Yeah.
So many of his movies just side split comedy. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think for this, if we're going to coordinate it now, I think we should do a bit of a comparison, Warren. What do you reckon?
Right, go on. I'm up for this.
You're all up for this one. So, speaking of superheroes and comic books,
Yes.
a great movie back in the 80s, just screams 80s at you, is Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Starring like Sylvester Stallone, compared to the remake of Dredd. Now, that's it. You see the other two. I mean, both, in my opinion, fantastic movies. I did like Stallone. His was really, his version of Dredd was quite good. But then Carl Urban, he played such a different character, which I'm not a big reader.
I am torn genuinely over this, right? Because I love Stallone.
Yeah.
Love every movie he does. I think he's brilliant. I mean, Rocky alone, mate, I could talk for hours about the Rocky films.
We'll come to that later on, I think, yeah.
Dredd. The original Judge Dredd, brilliant movie in its own right.
I mean,
The second one I thought was a lot darker.
Yeah,
And
I
for
definitely
me-
agree.
For me, I kind of side with that version for the grittiness.
Yeah, I get that.
And another sort of film to compare it with would be RoboCop and the new one.
Now, to be honest, I never saw the new RoboCop.
So not many people actually did like the new RoboCop film, but
I mean,
I
all the
think
old ones.
it's as brutal because the old ones are brutal.
Oh, yeah. I
but
had nightmares over the second one.
So the new one's kind of a different take on it.
Right.
And basically plotted through it. They basically have this news anchor on the news who keeps like telling these stories about stuff, and it's Samuel L. Jackson, and he plays you. I mean, anybody who ever sees Samuel L. Jackson in anything knows how much of a kooky bastard he is.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
I mean, how many times did you say
absolutely-
motherfucker? Let's be fair. Did you say motherfucker?
I think. Do you know something? I think he does towards like the end.
He has to. It's a rule.
But honestly, mate, I mean, the only film like I didn't like Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson.
To be fair, I kind of stayed away from that one because you knew it wasn't going to be good.
Nah, but no, it's kind of a little side part for him in this film, and is really it just makes the movie bit. But like, it's a lot more like tech sided, I'd say, is this RoboCop than the originals, simply because you know how far technology's come on.
Oh yeah.
And it's made for a modern audience.
Well, yeah, but I think one thing can we just appreciate how fantastic the CGI was on the original RoboCop. Let's be fair, I mean, that wasn't.
And I did a few months ago. I watched all the RoboCop films again, including the new one.
It holds up to this day. The RoboCop movies still hold water.
Yeah.
Like, there's not many movies you can say that.
No,
Terminator 2.
So there's films out there, mate, right, that I could still happily watch now. You know, the first few Terminator films, because like the last few have been garbage in my opinion.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not even. No.
You know, any of the Batman movies, they held up the test of time as well.
And don't get me wrong, this is a popular opinion, but I wasn't a big fan of Bale as Batman. I don't know what it was.
Me and you might have to fall out after this podcast, sir.
Don't get me wrong. It's just.
So like for me, right?
Yeah.
I preferred the grittiness of Bale.
Yeah.
But I also liked Keaton.
Yeah, I agree.
And I find it hard to choose between the two. However, I mean, as much as people hated Val Kilmer and George Clooney, I would rather watch them two than you know who I'm going to say, don't you?
Affleck?
I swear to God, yeah, Affleck, mate. Oh my God, that man vowed to never step foot in another superhero film.
And look what he did.
It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I watched Justice League film the other night. I'm not a massive DC fan. Don't get me wrong.
No, I'm not Marvel.
Superman and Batman, yeah. All the rest of it, mate, not really interested in it, to be honest. I can get away with Green Lantern at a push. Green Lantern, sorry, Green Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
And
that
Flash.
Was, Marvel, wasn't it?
But the problem for me, mate, is like, you know, it's the production quality for me. The Marvel Universe films, right, are like the production quality on them is amazing. And then the DC just seem to let themselves down.
Yeah, I'd agree. You know, it's when you look at a Marvel movie, you know you're going to get greatness.
Yeah.
I mean, with Marvel, and again, I'll say this as well. Again, very unpopular opinions. I still think that was it Endgame the second last one, or was it what was the second to last one? The Avengers.
Was it?
Was it Endgame or the other one?
I swear to God, my mind.
Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And I'm going to be honest, personally, I still think that was overrated. And also, speaking of Batman, I'm sure who the next Batman's going to be. Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame. I think he will actually do a fantastic job.
Yeah, so like some of the because there's not been a lot published about it.
No, very little.
But from what I understand, it's quite like an old school looking Batman suit as well.
And the thing is, Robert Pattinson, I say everybody, he's done it to himself. You have certain movies, like actors who are typecast, Robert Pattinson will always be the sparkly vampire.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe will always be Harry Potter, and Sheldon Cooper will be the same.
I always get concerned like when major movies announce certain actors for films, and it's like just no.
But then if you look at Dark Knight, who would have ever thought Heath Ledger could have done a job like that?
See, if we're gonna discuss him, and let's go down the Joker route. I am extremely torn with Joker actors, right? Now,
right, okay.
Ledger, right? Absolutely amazing. I mean, that bloke
blew that role away.
Far into the role, it ended up killing him.
Literally, yeah. I mean, he was amazing. His portrayal of the Joker, the madness, like that was. I'll be honest. I say I'm not a big comic book fan, but it was the first time I really got engrossed by the super villain character. I was like, oh, hello, he's got something there. He drew you in. You had no choice but to be pulled in. He was amazing. He just blew that movie out the water for me. He was the best actor in that film.
Yeah, it's a weird. See, the one thing, right? I'll be honest. I've never seen Suicide Squad.
No, yeah.
And Jared Leto as Joker. I've not heard many good things about him, to be honest. I'd probably have to watch because I know it's hard to compare them because they're all different versions of the Joker taken from different sections of like the comics.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people were surprised with Heath Ledger getting Joker, but like a lot of people had only ever seen him in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Or Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. But I'd actually see, because he did a few independent Australian movies.
All right, okay.
That were quite dark and dingy. So, like, for me, it wasn't really much of a shocker, if I'm honest with you.
So I guess we knew Ledger more. It was expected, you know?
Yeah, and I genuinely thought it was brilliant. But that kind of, I'll always remember Ledger for that portrayal of Joker because you cannot fucking ever dismiss it.
It's timeless. I think The Dark Knight, for that reason, could become timeless.
I actually have to go with the new Joker film that came out last year.
Yeah, and now I'm going to get hold my hands up. I haven't seen it, but I have heard a lot from you as well.
I basically went to see that with Oliver's mum. And we both obviously have our mental health issues, and I felt so drained after watching that film because that film is so to the bone when it comes to mental health.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you realise how much as a society fails people with mental health.
I think, yeah.
But, and the thing is with that, a lot of people are questioning Joaquin Phoenix basically getting that role. But that man is like such an underrated actor. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing he did with the Joker, like his portrayal, and as well the way the movie whole came about.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. You look at things like even in The Dark Knight, it's semi-plausible. Yeah. You know, you look at something. Let's be fair. I mean, you know, it's never. But in the Joker, that was believable. I think that petrified people. Going, hang on, if you get somebody who's that.
It was
messed up in the head.
I mean, obviously, it was penned as like an origin story.
Yeah.
But not actually 100% affiliated with any particular version of the Joker or Batman. The only
Yeah.
one thing that kind of sticks true in it is there is the portrayal in there of Batman's parents dying,
Yeah.
and a very, very young Bruce Wayne in it. But that's literally the only sort of reference to sort of Batman that's in there. But what the film does, the film has you questioning, how people with mental health are treated.
Yeah.
But then it has you wondering, is this version of the Joker the actual Joker that features in Batman at some point? Or is this, is this some guy just, going a bit doolally tap?
Yeah.
Is he really locked in an insane asylum all along? Because towards
Fair
like
play.
the end of the film, there's multiple people wearing clown masks and that, and it's like, was Joker sort of an idea rather than a person?
Okay, yeah.
And it proper screws with your head, mate. Like the entire film has you questioning everything.
Well, I think the other thing is, I mean, again, I'm coming at a point of ignorance of not seeing the movie, but from what people said to me, it kind of shows you as well. Like, if you look at the Joker, he kind of comes from tragedy. But then you look at Bruce Wayne, who also comes from tragedy. And I guess it
Yeah.
can show you that with these issues, whichever way you deal with tragedy, you could go one of two ways. You can either go the superhero way, you fight for what you believe in and make good out of it, or you can let the negativity take over you and just become a bastard. Let's be honest,
Yeah,
I think it's a good message to society. That
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Right, so let's move on to video games. You played anything good recently?
I kind of jumped on the whole bandwagon of GTA 5. It's now free online. Everybody buy it for free. So yeah, went on Epic Games, bought GTA 5 for my PC, and started playing it on the Xbox. It's one of those games. It's just, for me, the replay value of GTA 5 is fantastic.
Yeah,
the
I mean
storyline's
that thing it's going to span 3 generations of consoles by the time it's out on PS5 and
Yeah,
PS1,
I mean,
Series X.
I'll be honest, I'm going to probably own it on every console as well. I already have it for the PS3 and the 4.
Yeah.
So I may as well get it for the 5 as well.
I've got it somewhere on PC. I just can't remember where I purchased it through.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of those games where it does hold up. We do need a new GTA, we do need a new one. I know it's going to be a few extra features on the PS5, but it's time for a new one. We've had Grand Theft Horse, being Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, we've had that. It's time for a new GTA.
Yeah.
There's definitely development going on. But Rockstar, they always keep their cards very close to the chest.
Yeah, they do.
So I think it won't be too long. I mean, the PS4, it hasn't had a new GTA yet. It's had GTA 5.
Yeah. Again.
It's time for GTA 6. It's time.
Well, I think hang on, it's technically been out on the PS4 twice because it's got the PS4 version, and then you've got the PS4 Pro version.
Yeah,
which
fair play.
is basically, I mean, the PS4 Pro version's a toned down version of the PC version.
Yeah.
And then the PS5's version is going to basically be the PC version.
PC version. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Max Graphics, everybody.
Hey.
We've been expecting you for several years.
Well, it was like The Sims, wasn't it, back in the day? Like, they made The Sims, then they made about 1 million different expansions, and you bought them.
I tell you something, mate. That is a right money racket.
Oh, I tell you, you bought them. I bought them. I bought every expansion back. 20 quid a pop.
I kid you not. There is a game on Steam. It's a train simulator game, and if you were to buy all the add-ons for it,
yeah,
you're talking double. You're talking 4 figures.
Wow. I mean, I think that's it. I mean, I thought, speaking of Steam and great games that are coming out again soon, can I make just a quick mention of the Command & Conquer games that are being remastered?
Oh,
coming out later this year. Oh, that's my childhood in a box, that one.
It's out.
Cannot wait. Is it out?
Yeah, it's out, mate.
Oh, that's my bank balance going down tonight. Yeah, that was my childhood. Red Alert was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way about that.
See, basically, I've had a quick blast on the remaster, and it's good because it starts out in normal mode like the original, and you hit spacebar and you get the nice new graphics, and you've got a choice between the original soundtrack and a new version.
Ooh, you see.
Yeah.
That's it. It was
So
one of those
playing with the nice
classics.
new shiny graphics and the old audio is the way I do it.
You have to. Oh, you can't beat that old audio.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Those cutscenes were great. Like real people, real actors, and
Yeah.
tell you to bomb on a place. Oh, it was
But yeah,
fantastic.
I've been playing several games recently. I can't seem to like just sit on one.
Yeah.
So you've got. I won't go into them too much because like people can just look up online. But Death Stranding on the PS4, made by Hideo Kojima, absolutely amazing game.
Amazing game developer as well. That guy. What he do with Metal Gear?
Yeah, I know. Then I picked up a game called Days Gone. It's a zombie survival game. It's great, absolutely amazing. Basically, a larger scaled version of the Xbox's zombie game, which is
Dead Rising.
No, State of Decay 1 and 2.
Oh, State of Decay. Okay.
These are more like open world community builder sort of games, whereas like Dead Rising is mint though. Like the array of like weapons you can build to kill zombies with is off the chain, mate. It is insane.
I was with the demo of Dead Rising. You always knew exactly where the katana was, and that was your first mission. Get up to the roof, get the katana, and go slicey down.
Yeah, it was mint. But I tend to like sim games as well, and other sort of like like No Man's Sky. They've just like there's a new update out for that. That basically makes it multi-platform between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Oh right, yeah. That was that huge open world one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one that flopped at the beginning because they've delivered now most of the stuff they promised, and it truly is a remarkable game for such a small studio.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is obviously it promised so much.
Yeah,
it delivered so little. I think it put a lot of people off.
Yeah, but I absolutely it's one of my favorite games now. There's
that,
and then Subnautica, which is it's like an underwater survival sort of game. It's quite a lot of fun actually. So I've just been chilling out playing that on an evening.
Good call. I think one of the games, I'll be honest, I haven't played it for a while, but I think the game that's taken the most of my time over the last few years has been Destiny. Destiny 1, Destiny 2.
I bought into Destiny 1, right? Because I thought that game was going to be amazing, and I was so disappointed.
I think the problem is Destiny 1. Don't get me wrong.
Destiny 2, I didn't really feel much better, to be honest with you.
See, I prefer Destiny 1 over Destiny 2. I was a huge fan of the original Destiny. But Destiny, for me, only works if you have the right group of people to play with.
Yeah.
It's the same as a lot of those kind of games, like World of Warcraft. Don't get me wrong. Stunningly beautiful. A beautiful game to play.
Oh,
you get a level 20.
Me and you are going to have a disagreement about that, sir, because I hate that game.
But visually, you can't say it's a beautiful game visually.
It's horribly designed.
Oh, badly designed. But when you look at visually looking at it, you're going around, you're flying on a griffin. It's quite sweet to look at.
I don't know.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
I much prefer Final Fantasy Online, if I'm going to be honest with you, because Final Fantasy for me is much better.
See, this is where we do always have arguments in games. We always do. Final Fantasy, I appreciate the genius of it. But I'm not a big fan of that whole turn-based kind of fighting game.
But you see, the new ones aren't turn-based.
Yeah, I have heard they've taken that off, which is great, which I think that would get me to play it.
Well, on about Final Fantasy quickly, I managed to pick up Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 and 15 on the PS4, so I'm kind of tied into that console for a bit now because I need to play through them all.
Well, that's it, but don't forget about Command & Conquer as well.
I know. I definitely need to have a crack at that.
Well, everyone, that's it for this week. Thank you all for joining us, and we will catch you again on the next podcast. Until then, stay safe and look after each other. Later, Warren.
Later, Neil.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think
You have been listening to Oliver's Legacy podcast. If you would like to reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook at Oliver's Daddy, Wings and Rainbows.